What up, Challenge fans? We are Final Alliance Podcast. Just watched episode 19, The Decision. This was day 2 of the final. Oh my gosh, it was great. What were your first thoughts?
First thoughts of the episode?
First
when
thoughts.
we finally are done with the episode. My first thoughts?
First thoughts.
USA, USA, USA. We had an all-USA champion team.
We did?
I mean, I know that
there was only
Casey's
one
from the Philippines, whatever else, but she has the American flag on hers and
U.S. citizen.
Yeah, so they are USA, where the other ones had Romania and United Kingdom represented. So we had an all USA team.
As far as finals go, what'd you think?
There was. I would say the majority of it was endurance, and then there was a little bit
puzzles.
and puzzles. That was it. Like, there wasn't the eating thing, which we talked about. There was none of that this year. There wasn't the stamina, even though it's an endurance, but the stamina of, like, having to stand on a rock while the other person, like, rests for a little bit.
Which we absolutely thought was going to happen.
Yeah, because and TJ kind of alluded to that. So it missed some things of the challenge that we're used to seeing at the final. This was really like, have you been training for it? Blah, blah, blah. This is what you've been doing. And then we're going to throw you just a curveball just so everyone goes, oh, my goodness. And then we're going to spend 20 minutes on it. So we'll get to that, I guess.
As finals go, I give it a C. But as far as the episode goes,
yeah, I agree.
B+, A-.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I liked how the episode played out. But was it my favorite final? No, not mine either. I'm perfect with that. Just a good old fashioned C, and then the rest of it, like, I'll give the episode a better one. It's like you got a student who's on the verge between, you know that they're an A-, but something A student, but something didn't come off right, and they gave you a little bit of effort, and you're like, I'll give them benefit of the doubt. They're a B+ now, so that's a B+. As far as everything overall, yeah. So the episode starts at checkpoint 4. We've got our 2 teams. We've got orange and purple.
Yeah.
Amethyst and quartz, if you will.
Yeah, been much better.
Because they went with the gems.
Yeah.
That's not my original thought. That was from Challenge Wrap Up, and I just liked that idea.
You were right on that from the beginning.
But I did say amethyst a lot.
Yeah.
So they've got so the teams are on Amethyst. It's CT, Devin, Emmy, and Tori. The other team, which is quartz, orange, is Kyle, Nelly, Nani, and Casey.
Yeah.
So they get to checkpoint 4. They've got to unravel a rope that's kind of tangled in a crate.
Yeah.
After that, which CT's team just gets it like immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, it's no problem.
Like they get there at the same time, and Quartz is like, why are they so far ahead? And Tori's like, we'll turn it over. And I mean, you can see them in the background. They've got like the whole rope like out, and they're just still behind.
Well, I mean, first off, Devin and CT are good at puzzles, okay?
Absolutely.
We'll give them that. And then the other ones, they're fine enough. But really, some of those things you have to do, especially that. And if you watch it from the beginning, there were like locks and chains all around it. Because then I was like, now we're going to have to pull out chains.
Yeah,
too.
I remember heard of the locks, but I never like saw the locks.
No,
they mentioned locks.
And they just like went away. Like they were no longer there. Like you saw it first thing, you're like, they're going to have to pull not only the rope, but also a chain to get through it. And then, so.
There were things from. Okay, so like that, like there was a mention of the locks, but we didn't see the locks. So a while back to like episode 1, when they have the partners and the person that's a veteran or from America is like locked up.
Yeah.
There were originally pictures with Corey like going like, because the snake was coming at him. Mm-hmm. There were snakes and stuff in that, I don't know, the concrete blocks.
Yeah, okay.
That did not make the show.
Yeah. Huh.
So there are things that throughout production that just were something and then later were not something.
Yeah.
And that just made me think of it. So I don't know.
I'm not.
So maybe the locks were supposed to be something and just weren't.
Don't know.
Maybe there were snakes. I don't know.
Maybe that's it, just to fill in the holes. Whatever. I'm not surprised they do it. CT, he's good, but CT also has a young son.
Yes.
And
CJ.
We've all been through this.
Which I would gather
growing
is Chris
up.
Jr.
But when you have kids in general, and they are starting to learn, and I don't know if CJ's there yet, but starting to learn how to tie their shoes.
I think he's there.
Majority of the time, they'll do triple and quadruple knots, and when you want to put their shoes on, you are cussing underneath your breath about how annoying it is. So I feel like he had a little bit of an insight of like what to do for these type of things.
Yes.
Because, I mean, Kyle will have a kid. He'll let you know that. And then, Nellie doesn't or anything, and Casey and Nani don't. So maybe he just had like a little bit like, hey, just got to have a little patience with these knots and pull them this way and get a little slack here and there. So
he has always been good with those knot things, like when it's in an elimination for the most part.
Yeah, except for when he lost to Jay that one time. Oof. That was the upset of the cinch.
It was the upset of the cinch. I'd like to see him back, by the way.
Yeah, he should be back.
So moving forward, so they unravel this rope from the cage, and then they've got to go underwater, and they've got to find these symbols. I did notice that it seemed quite a bit underwater.
Yeah.
Like not just 3 feet underwater. Like it seemed pretty deep. So this is where it gets a little weird. So Nellie instantly asks, "Where's the life jacket?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, so first I said, well, that's hilarious because you're going underwater. Why do you need a life jacket? And then I'm like, no, you're a team, and if you're not a good swimmer, which I'm not a great swimmer, yeah, they always have life jackets in general.
I know.
So now all of a sudden this time, they don't.
I agree with that point, but you cannot spend all these episodes saying how you've been preparing for this for whatever else, and you haven't taken the time to become a strong swimmer like Leroy had in the past.
Right. Leroy put in so much effort.
And he does say later on, I did fine in the water challenges, but I just didn't have it this one. But he had a panic attack before it even happened.
He did. And being someone that's not a great swimmer, I know that feeling of panic in water. And it's like, no one can get you out of it. You just got to like take a second and then be like, I'm going to be okay. Get on your back.
Float on your back, dummy, is what I said. That's exactly what I said. Float on your back, dummy. But then I said, if you haven't taken swimming lessons, if you haven't been around swimming, I'm sorry, that might be like a day 2 or 3 thing because they're teaching you how to do it. But if you haven't been around it, then you wouldn't know that. But to me, if you can't doggy paddle, get on your back, dummy, and just kind of slowly guide your way there. Learn how to float. But it didn't happen to him.
But it didn't seem to really, like, he asked for help, and then we got to see the canoe with the camera guy and the, I don't know, producer or somebody that he got to hold on to. I don't think there wasn't like a loss of time.
No, and they didn't have to have all 4
There wasn't a penalty.
Even though Kyle says...
he was behind them. He was behind them, but there wasn't a penalty for that or anything like that.
But Kyle made it sound like in his one-on-one confessional, I've got this whole thing memorized. Nelson, I need you to be here, a part of the team. So that makes the viewer think, oh, they're going to get penalized because they didn't have all 4.
Right.
They all 4 have to be there, which I'm sure it was in the instructions. But maybe they're just like, dude, he's cramping up. What can we do? Go on as planned, and so yeah.
Well, and so Purple had the plan of everybody memorizes like 1,
2,
or 2.
Yep.
Which I thought was ballsy.
Mm-hmm.
If I were CT or if I were Devin, I would say I'm going to memorize my 2, but I might try to memorize more just because relying on Emmy, who we don't really know much about puzzles, and Tori, as much as I love her, has struggled with puzzles in the past. That made me nervous.
Yeah.
But they get to it, and they all remember their numbers, and it was like boop 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 boop. It was so fast.
Yeah. But it just seemed like, well, the orange team is the one that they got off the missile first, though, right? Or am I ahead of something here? Because they got theirs, but the orange team was right behind, even though they made it look like orange team.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Because Devin gassed out.
Oh, okay. Yes, that's right. Before they were, yes.
So they're running up the rocks.
Yeah, that's what happened. All right, so they take off running off the rocks. That's where it is, yeah. Because he does gas out. But anyway, like, as much as they showed orange was behind, they were right there.
It really wasn't that big of a deal. Yeah. And it wasn't a penalty or anything like that. Which I think if it's about quote unquote safety, you probably can't make it a penalty. So no harm, no foul, whatever.
What happens if the other team starts complaining? What TJ just goes, is that how you want to win on a technicality?
Right.
I made the decisions, go on, so.
It is interesting, though, because, the first leg of the final, they had the little jet ski things. And now this one, it's like, nope, gotta swim now. No life jackets.
Yeah.
Sink or swim.
By the way, they're in Croatia. Obviously, there's beautiful waters there.
Gorgeous.
Because there is no way that we are taking goggles and still being able to see anything underneath the Mississippi or whenever they put Westlake back together again.
No.
Or anything here in the Midwest.
No.
You're not seeing anything. So I was like, they're going to be able to see that deep, and good for them. That water looks great.
And you could see the snakes.
That part wouldn't make me happy. But other than
I saw the snakes and I was like, nope.
But I would have been like, oh, it's nice to be able to see the water where I'm swimming in. But then I
can see my feet.
I saw it. That's good enough. I saw that too, and I saw that, and now I'm done. It was fun. I was here. Yeah. So
and I swam faster than Huey to get out of there.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So Then we go into Devin gassing out, which is
I was bummed. Mm-hmm. I was bummed for him that they're going up these rocks. I don't know the distance. I wish they gave us the distance.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like a pretty steady incline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Devin's gassing out. I was really impressed with Emmy's endurance this entire time. Never complained. No issues. Do you know how old she is, by the way? I found that out the other day.
22.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
22-year-old me would have been able to do that just fine also.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think I'll give you this. She was consistently positive and supportive this entire episode.
She really was. Yeah. So Devin, kind of struggled with this. And then checkpoint number 5, then they got to carry this torpedo.
Yeah.
Well, they have to unravel some chains from it.
That's where the orange team took
it. Was weird.
Why was that so hard
I don't
for them
understand.
To do? Because the orange team came up and they
were like, got it off. Literally, they just kind of pushed it off one end and the other. I mean, I didn't see it, but it seemed like it was that easy. And then everybody else on the purple is untangling it.
Yeah. So they got that, and they were off and running.
And I kept mentioning to you, I'm like, look at the sun. It's getting darker. It's getting darker. It's getting darker. And again, purple's not doing great. Orange is working as a team. They figured out which shoulder. They figure out when to say all right, switch, beautiful.
Well, and they also realized right away that the person at the front is
the
leading,
strongest person.
And that's the one who's navigating and setting the pace. And they said, Nelson, don't go too fast. You're setting the pace. And
Nani actually said that, which surprised the heck out of me.
Thing to her highlight for the episode.
It was her highlight of the episode.
Yeah. So, and there's almost at times, if you kind of watch it from some of the side, it looks like their feet are almost in pace, left, right, left, right.
Yes.
But then I kept paying attention. It's not so much, but they were when he's like, all right, we're going to switch it over.
They had it paced. They had it
they
perfect.
Did a good job.
They had the 2 strongest people at the front and the back, and then the whatever medium strength people in the middle. Purple started with Devin in front, CT in back, and I think maybe they were thinking about elevation.
Maybe. Well, but it's still gonna because it's still gonna.
Because if you're going uphill, the strength in the back. You know what I mean? I'm just thinking about moving things upstairs.
And poor Casey's like, "What? I'm right here. I'm a strong one." But they had to do it one way or another, and yeah.
So, Casey wasn't on CT's team.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, jumping ahead of that. So Tori's not stronger, and Emmy's not stronger than Devin. So you have to do that. Sorry.
Realistically, Tori's probably stronger than Devin.
Realistically, Tori's not stronger than Devin.
I don't know. I see Tori doing deadlifts in the gym and stuff and see what she lifts. I don't see Devin posting his stuff on the Instagrams.
Realistically, Devin's stronger than Tori. I'm glad.
I know what you mean, but
yeah. So, but that doesn't. You know what else? So we say all the time.
CT should have been in front, comparing the 2 teams.
But you can't scout heart, and in that situation, Tori might have been leading the whole thing, and they would have been good job, Tori, and no one would have ever said I can't believe she did that, because it would have just been she could have hearted that out where he was
True.
I'm taking a break.
Yeah.
True.
Like,
what?
Yeah.
So
why? Yeah. Realistically, you're right. Like, he was struggling at that point. That's not the person you want to be leading your group.
No, she should have just said, like, how about I do it just for the little bit? You gain a little bit and go. Who knows? To say, like...
Somebody, anybody.
Sorry,
Emmy.
for me, and this is, I guess, apology for me to say, like, realistically, what we're looking at is a male that age and female, and he's probably stronger than her. But when I say you can't Scott Hart, you can't. And she could have said, I'll just take it at the front, and you gain a little bit of your energy back because you haven't eaten.
Well, okay, we need to take a moment on that. I need to know more information about this. Why did Devin not eat that morning?
He's got no fuel in him. That's whatsoever.
You know you're going into the final. You know you're going into the final. Like, nothing? Not a nanner?
No.
Not some
yogurt?
eggs?
No.
Not
Absolutely
a protein
not.
shake?
No.
Nothing?
No,
oatmeal?
I'm good.
Nothing.
Nah,
I'm going to do a 2-day thing on nothing. What?
I'm fasting in case they give me pig testicles. That's all. That's all I'm doing. Yeah, that's me. I'm Devin. I've figured it all out.
I mean, not a Nutri-Green bar.
No.
Like, I need more information on this. Why did you not eat that morning? Please. Like, I really need to know, Devin. I got to know. Why did you not eat?
It's an interesting question because you're in that final, and to talk about how you're prepared and you played a flawless game, and you didn't. I mean, you played a game up until the final.
He got to the final.
Yeah, but yeah, again, back to it though. I think Tori just been like, I'll take just for a little bit.
Yeah, it was just the wrong setup for the carrying of the torpedo. They could have done it a different way. It didn't work. They did end up switching. Still didn't work, but luckily...
Jeez.
We get to checkpoint 6. You got to make these 3 squares. And I'm still watching the daylight. I'm like, oh my gosh. But I'm like chanting. I'm like so excited every time they fail because I'm like...
It's going to happen.
Purple's going to come in and they're going to get it. Purple's going to come in and they're going to get it. I did get frustrated with Kyle during this time a little bit because he was complaining a lot. And I looked at you and I was like, then take over. They need a different leader.
Yeah.
I was getting it was a little bit later, but I was just
fine.
frustrated.
It doesn't matter the whole thing because Nelson's talking about make a triangle. And he's like, that's 3 squares, and one was a rectangle. And she even goes as far as to be like, that's a square, that's a triangle. Casey does. That's a rectangle. So, I mean, basically the thing is they have a square with, you add the piece, torpedoes, you move 3 of them.
I thought I had it figured out, but then when I saw it, I was like, nope, that's not what did not have that figured out. Did you have it figured out?
I did not. But then once I did, I was like, oh, okay.
It's so obvious.
That makes sense.
It was so obvious.
Yeah. So, yeah, but finally... Purple gets
it.
CT takes a look.
And instantly, like right away, he's like, I got this. And he's like running.
Yeah.
and then they get it. And they look over to Kyle and they're like, did you see what they did? And he's like, nope, didn't see it.
Yeah, didn't see it. Never paid attention to anything they were doing because they even moved
almost
around.
got it.
Yeah.
Almost
and then I don't
got
know how. I mean, then it made it seem like they had it right after that. No problem. Again, the editing was kind of off.
Right. But we do know that they were both there at the same time, and it was really close to sundown. Then they have this like hamster wheel. Or hamster ball. I don't know.
Yeah, I would consider that.
It's got their supplies for the night in it, and they got to take it down this road. You got to balance it down the road or whatever.
It's just so dumb.
Then Orange just can't figure it out again. It was kind of painful.
Yeah, like right away, Purple's just like, we're going to have 2 push and we're going to have 2 on the side navigating it because we don't want it to go off this road. I mean, don't go off the beaten path. We're going to guide it. So if it gets a little bit to the left, the person on the left's going to push it and be like, hey, we got to right. It's the same thing.
And it seems like Nelly tried to over push.
Oh, yeah, he was just pushing it. The other 2 were behind. Him and Kyle were pushing it. They had the other 2 behind, and then Casey and Nani, and then you can see him like start pushing and give it a shove down the hill without Kyle, and gravity is a bitch, That's what I said to you. I'm like, oh, it sure is. It went off the side, and luckily it got stopped by a tree and a rock.
Right.
and they still struggled because when they were trying to get out of there, but they're just like, you can just see like the team is just like, Nelly, you're done. And that's when it's like, all right, Kyle should have stepped in.
That's when I was like, oh my God, Kyle, like just take over. Yeah.
Like, even when they're trying to get over a rock, it's like, all right, on the count of 3, and you can see Casey struggling and Nani, and boy.
Oh, it was frustrating. But at the same time, so then they, finish it. You can see that CT's still sweating. Like you can see it in the back of his hair that his hair is still wet.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that says, because he's got thick hair that, like, I don't know. I feel like that wouldn't dry quicker. I have fine hair, so I really don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But that tells me that really they weren't waiting that long.
Yeah.
It was still close even still.
Okay.
Maybe. So end of day 1, and Kyle says, stick puzzle was a bitch, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah.
God, I love that guy.
I know. Yeah.
Also, please, for the love of God, give that man some sunscreen. Like, it is inhumane to watch that man get burned all the time. Like, does he just, like, say, no, I do not want sunscreen?
Probably something dumb, like it'll give him wrinkles or whatever
that
else.
Skin.
Yeah.
Give that man some sunscreen. He needs, like, that beach defense, that 70.
I know.
Like, every time, like, the day after a challenge like this, anything out in the sun, he's just, like, burgundy.
I can't figure some things out.
He's like
either.
the color of my shirt.
If you go back and watch him swim, there's
nobody else be burnt like crazy like that. Just him.
Sometimes you look at it and you're like, "What is Kyle like losing his hair on the top of his head?" Because some of the angles of there, and then other times not there, and I'm like,
No. He did the
I know he did, but
Okay.
I'm talking on the very top here. He may have filled in like up here, whatever else, but he looks like it could be the angle, it could be the way the sun was. There was other times no, but I'm like, I don't know.
That just made my eyes twitch. I was like, don't you be talking about Kyle.
I'm not. It's okay if he loses his hair. It's all right. It gets thin up there. Yeah. I mean, he would be the type that would say, like, I don't want the sunscreen because it'll give me wrinkles and make my skin crack or something. I don't know. He might have some reason. He's red.
Maybe he's
though.
allergic. Maybe like certain.
Stop defending it, making it fake allergies for Kyle or whatever else.
He does have the diabetes. We do know
Yes,
that.
he does have that. Yeah.
And still competes like a freaking.
He's fantastic.
Amazing,
yeah.
All right. So end of day 1, we think for sure, because TJ had said you don't want to lose.
Trust me, you do not want to be the losing cell.
So we think this means, because of what we've seen in the last couple seasons, the losing team. Hang on, I gotta. Am I back? I'm back. All right. We think that means it's going to be something overnight, right? It's going to be like you've got to stay up or you have crappy sleeping conditions. Nope, it's not. They all have the same little cots that they're going to sleep on and, blow up their little pillows. And they've got these food that are in cans.
Yeah. Who knows?
CT says it's a little spooky.
Yeah.
With this, like, Nani and Casey being all cute and how they love each other and stuff.
Oh, you said you wanted to go camping. Yeah, this isn't the way I was looking at it.
Oh my God, the scoff.
Oh, jeez.
Like, as it was happening, I looked over at you because I was like, I'm waiting for it. And you're like,
no, I can't stand it. It's like we're at home. Like, what? You guys aren't at home or anything. Like, oh, as long as I'm sleeping next to her, it's comfy. And I don't even care whatever's crawling on my leg last night. I'm like, ugh. They're just.
But it was so foreshadowing. It was so foreshadowing. So,
they got me there.
Wake up. TJ's there. He says, yeah, losing team. You're going to be battling each other.
Yeah, they have a miniature lair type of thing set up. Yeah.
And then I got like really excited. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. And then I got kind of sad because I was like, oh, I don't like the idea of those two going against each other. But it went back to episode 1. It was that back me up where they got to be back to back and they got to push their opponent to the other side.
Yeah.
So Kyle and Nelly go first. And that was difficult because it I like both Kyle and Nelly. Kyle a little bit more.
Yeah. He did a fantastic job.
It was a battle.
Yeah, he does say to Nelly afterwards, like, I weigh a little bit more than you. I mentioned, I'm like, hey, that's a pretty wicked cut on Kyle's shin. And you could see when I say wicked. So there's some things on there, injuries you don't see. And if you go back and watch it right before they're getting ready to go, there's a scrape on Kyle's shin, his left shin.
His left shin.
And it's long, but you can tell that it's
sticking out.
Yeah, and you can tell that it's healing. The scar is forming around where they're still there. So slowly the scab is getting less and less. So this is something he's been dealing with, and it must have been a pretty vicious one. And I can't imagine somewhere along the line like that didn't hit or cut open. But he talks about how he's scraping through with his fingernails and they're bleeding, which I didn't really see that in the show, but that's fine. But it's almost like when he got the first one, Nelson was defeated. So, and they both were gracious in loss and gracious in victory.
And then TJ was amazing.
TJ gave a speech. He's had his his injuries where he thought it was at the bottom and didn't know if he'd go forward. And he said, trust me, I know. Like,
he said something along the lines, he went over to Nelly and he said something along the lines of hey man, you just got to keep waking up every day. Like, tomorrow's going to suck. Then it's going to suck a little the next day.
He said, it's going to hurt. I'm not going to tell you it's not going to hurt. It's going to hurt, and you're going to think about it. He goes, but then you're going to go to bed, and you're going to wake up, and it
was really beautiful.
And you're going to hurt, and then you're going to wake up, and he goes, eventually, it just starts getting less and less till the hurt just goes away. And he said, trust me, I've been there before. And it was not something you see out of him.
Never.
Every once in a while he will, but it was well placed. It was
I loved
perfect.
it.
Absolutely.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Like, if there was a moment that got me teary, it was that moment, this episode. Not what's coming.
Yeah,
it was that.
I really wished it was that one, though. Yeah.
I actually was trying for it, but it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
So now we know that Casey and Nani have to go in against each other. Mm-hmm. And that's difficult because they're together. They're a couple. That's never happened before.
No.
They really went for it. And I mean, they really went for it. I mean, production really went for it. I am not discounting these women being on the challenge and being so close and having to make that decision of okay, who's going to win? Let's make a decision so whoever can preserve their energy because there's a lot to come. I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about production with Fools Rush In, a freaking cover of that. I started to go and I looked at you and I was like, oh no. And I was like, oh no. Mm-hmm. But it just didn't come because production just overdid it. They overdid it with this elimination. I wrote Casey wins ?
Okay. Couple things. Thank you very much for when they made the cover. And you said Fools Rush In because when they wrote it down, they wrote Can't Help Falling in Love with You, which I know UB40 did it too in the Sliver soundtrack, but the song is Fools Rush In.
Yes, it is.
It's just too much for me. I
love them as a couple, though.
That's great. I'm not, it's just, it was one of those things I can't have it all season long of Casey reminding me that she played professional football and she's a beast in competitions. Or Nani, her one time when she wasn't so Nani, the one time when she's like, I can get crazy, and I was like, then get crazy. Not once did I believe she was going to compete. Not once and then I said to you, Casey wins the first one, gives 10% in the second one, lets Nani win one, and then
you called it.
She just drills her right off of there, and that way she still has her energy, and that's what
you called.
Honestly,
it.
Nani should
have
been
it immediately.
It should have been yeah, you got the first one, and then I'll just go right over. I want you to preserve your energy because look what Kyle just went through, that type of thing. So who knows? Even the nonverbal of Nani through the entire thing before when she was on the purple team, when she was on the orange team, you could see that her nonverbal. She's like, I'm not winning this thing. When she's hooked up there, she's like,
when they started the mission today, I looked at you and I said, she already looks gassed.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was not going to be a good thing at all, and so. Good call. If I can't win, Casey should win. But what are we doing with all these packages about what my mom would do with the money or what I'm going to do with it? I don't need that. Then don't give me this false belief. I never once. Sorry, From episode 1, I never once thought Nani was going to win this challenge.
No.
Not once was I was like, this is her year. So
last year maybe.
Don't give the thing of like, oh, she's going to do it and she's going to give money to her mom and it's not. Never once did you guys fool me that I was like, oh my goodness, I might be wrong. There was never, ever a time that I thought Nani's going to win this thing.
She played a good political game. She kept herself pretty darn safe. But yeah, when it all came on the line, she's put in a really sucky situation. And yeah.
She played an okay political game.
But realistically,
flirted, and she was with the team that won 80% of the time.
But realistically, if she was up against Emmy or Tori in that same elimination, the result would have been the same. The result would have been the same.
That's what I'm saying. So she played you say a great political game. I'll give you that. But everything else, she never had to go in the lair. She was with the team that won 80, if not more, 80% of the time, if not more. And she actually won when she was just paired up. She was the agency. So. Yeah, she was on a team that won, and she had to do nothing outside of that. I mean, absolutely nothing. She never once have we said that she won an episode. Never once have we said like, oh, she killed in this challenge. Nothing. So she was in the final thinking, I'm finally going to win one, and you were never. You were. If we go back to the odds, I think I did. Emmy was lower, but not by much with Nani. I had Tori and Casey in there.
Right.
So and odds are there the same. She just never had it. I never once believed it. So good job, you put her in a challenge, and then Tori, I can't watch this. I'm gonna cry. And what's CT say?
It's wicked sad.
Wicked sad.
Wicked sad.
Guys, you got anything to say about this?
I just love that you said wicked sad because Boston. Like,
why would you even first? Let's go back to this. When the guys are doing it, does Tori need to root on somebody? All the time?
You were very
Why can't you just go? Look at them go.
Well, and she was rooting for Nelly, right?
I don't even know.
I thought it was Nelly she was rooting for, which was interesting because she had voted for him in the previous elimination.
Listen, I was so annoyed I could care less.
They argued, but then they had the bathtub talk. I don't know. I can't keep up. I can't keep up.
I thought she was cheering for Cal. There's just no reason.
Keep up.
You don't need to be a cheerleader, and I'm not saying that in a way of like you don't need to be such a competitor that you want to be involved in this, that you just can't hold it back, that you have to cheer for one person. Just sit back. I said that to you. I go, if I was those four, I'd be like, why do I need to watch this? I don't want to stand.
Whoever
stand in the sun. Can I go sit in the shade?
Can I enjoy this break?
I would never. I would have been like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to watch it. I could care less who wins. I'm
right
on this. So, and then and she doesn't say anything during Tori not Tori, during Casey and Nani's, but she's just so like.
Yeah, she does. She says like she can't watch it. She's crying.
Oh, I know that, but it's not like get her, Casey.
Oh well, no.
I mean, but the other one.
That's
for no
not
reason.
one that like you would cheer for though, because like it was kind of like a.
You can cheer for both of them to lose at the same time, which is what I was doing.
So Casey wins.
Yeah, Casey wins. Yeah.
TJ says to Nani, take care. Gives this wonderful, sure we'll see you again, pep talk to Nelly, and then tells Nani, take care. Now, TJ says we've done teams, we've done individual, and then I like looked at you and I was like, yes. Pairs. Now we're doing pairs, and I had initially thought that CT'd be like deuces at me, but wasn't his opportunity. So whoever won the elimination got to pick. So Kyle got to pick his partner. Casey got to pick her partner, and then everybody else kind of got in line. So TJ asked, like, do you guys want to be together, Kyle and Casey? And Casey initially was like, no. And then Kyle was like, yeah, no.
Yeah, that was that? Yeah, 100%. I don't break up with you. You don't break up with me, I break up with you. Casey looks over, she's already shaking her head when he says it.
Like hard.
And then
early.
She's like, no, and he's like, yeah, no, we're good. Yeah, so it was like, yeah, you don't break up with me, I break up with you type of thing. Like, so.
And so Kyle picks Tori. Great pair. She looks hesitant, but she's like, all right. And then Casey picks CT, which that's the move that everybody would pick.
Everyone would, yeah.
And, she says she's looked up to him and looking forward to playing the game with him.
But she's never worked with him on any of the seasons that she's been on.
Which is
she
amazing.
Looks up to him so much, yeah. But Just won't go out of her way to have any type of talk with him because she's so locked with Fessy and Josh that she just cannot talk game or work with CT at all until it becomes advantageous to her and her money.
Let's be real, though. That girl had MTV growing up. She knows who he is.
Yeah. But I mean,
of course she, would look up to him. Who wouldn't?
Yeah, but I mean, she's never even played the game where it looked like she had any, respect towards him outside of just being a competitor. It's not like, hey, man, they're sitting there making protein shakes.
She's run a final with him before.
Yeah, but they didn't work together, and it's not like it was ever like, hey, CT, you're doing a good job, or yeah, thanks, Casey.
Okay, let's be real here. They probably have conversations eating their Cheerios, but it's probably so boring. The production is like, there is no need to put this on the show.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because remember that last season when Josh said that CT had made Casey cry?
Oh, yeah.
And CT was outside smoking a cigarette. And he's like, oh, my God, let me come in. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And then and then Casey's like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
He was trying to apologize. You don't do that to somebody you don't care about.
Yeah. You'd be like, I made her cry. Oh, well. Yeah. She's a crybaby. You're right. Yeah. All right. I'll give you that. But yeah, so yeah, it's a good choice. It's a no-brainer.
It's the best choice. It's the best choice, of course. So then that leaves Devin and Emmy.
Mm-hmm.
So then they got to race up this mountain.
Yeah.
There's a 20-digit code at the top of this mountain. Then you got to go back down the mountain and put the 20-digit code in.
And then you can pull out the $1 million black diamond.
Black diamond.
That's right. So I thought what you said was interesting. Treat it like a credit card, memorize it by fours.
Right?
Obviously, they're going to split it up 10 and 10. I think Devin takes 16, except for the final four for Emmy. And
I think she had 5. I think it was a zip code.
2, 1, 6, 1, 2, or something like that. But Devin says in his, he's like, and he lists it, and he's like, it's locked in, I'm ready to go. Pretty sure Kyle and Tori did the same thing, split half and half.
Right.
Start talking yourself on the way down.
So did CT and Casey, because Casey and CT at one point were looking at each other, and he's like, I got the last half.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's neck and neck.
It's neck and neck, and then Devin and Emmy are way up, and Devin's like, look, I want to do this once, so I'm going to get this right. To which, the way that they were, putting that, kind of heroing that, I'm like, oh, my God, someone's going to mess up.
No, I totally thought that, yeah.
Right? That's not what happened. Oh, my God, and we forgot.
What?
So TJ said going into this, he's like, you're going to have a decision to make.
Yeah.
So if you win... And everyone has to finish to be in contention for this. But if you win, you have to decide what you're going to do with your $1 million. If you're going to take it, just you and your partner, or if you're going to split it up.
Split it. If you're going to split it up,
to which I said immediately, I was like, take it all. And then he twinkled his little blue eyes at me. And then 20 minutes went by, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's not the right decision.
Yeah. It's good television.
No, it's not the right decision.
It's good for the reunion. It's not the right decision, and I'll tell you why.
Well, and realistically, I would never in life do that. I would never in life do that. There's no way. But me watching it on TV, and he says it immediately, and I'm like, yes, take that money. Take it.
So CT and Casey win it, and when Tori describes it, it's literally about 10 seconds or so.
Right. And it's close. I mean, they're right next to each other.
They're all very in awe and respectful of Devin when he comes in and he does it all by himself. And they're like, you just
got all of those by yourself.
He's like, yeah, walks over there. They get it done. They're celebrating, which is awesome. I'll tell you this. She may have a sharp tongue when she's at the house. She may have a sharp tongue when she's out at the clubs if they have too much to drink. But consistently, Tori has been supportive of everyone who's either won or lost the entire time, even if she's not in there.
Yes.
And she walked right over and congratulated them, even though she was hurting because she thought
she was crying, and she got up and she went over there. She
went right over to them and said congratulations. And if you go back, she is consistently,
She's a good sport.
Gracious to every single person. Either she's not competing, she may have been cheering against you. She always makes sure, and she's not politicking.
It's not fake either. I don't feel like
there's
like
no
she
jury
can be,
in the end.
She can be fake in a lot of ways, quote unquote.
Yeah.
This is not fake. I don't feel like.
No, not. I don't.
This
think
is
so either.
genuine.
I think when the competition's all said and done, and the flame of the competition has been suffocated, she's back to just being like, you did a really good job.
Right.
And you did
got
a really
me.
good job.
You got me.
You
Good
should
job.
be happy that you won. You should but I'm talking about even when she's not involved. She's always cheered for someone. And
Yes.
I said that earlier. Why does she always have to? But then you have to take the good with the bad if you're going to critique her. And even the one she's not involved in, she's the first to say, you did a really good job. You competed very hard. You should be very proud of yourself. You're a warrior in there. And she always does. And she did it again. And
I
it's
think
something
you're right.
I took from that I was like, she's really good. So the decision comes up. And I asked you, what's going to happen? Not what would you do, what's going to happen?
And I said 3. I said 700, 300. They're going to give 300 away.
I thought the same thing. I thought 7, 2, and 1. 100 to third place.
Right.
That's not what they did. But they said, Casey said, CT and I talked about it, and CT goes, we're going to take 8. You guys split the 2. And everyone was happy. I mean, Emmy didn't even know what was going on.
Oh my God, that was amazing. Yeah. Like, so everyone's just cheering, and she's like, I don't even know. And then someone's,
what does that even mean?
Who even said it? I don't know. Someone said, they were like, you get $50,000. And she's like, ah!
I got $50,000. More money I've ever seen in my life. So it's great. She goes, I don't even know what that means. They're all just like cheering. And they're all great about it. Like, Tori's like, thank you. Kyle's like, you didn't have to do that. Devin, everybody. I'm telling you, there's got to be something. You keep that money, you lose it. I understand that but I think they had already put in their head, I'm probably not going to beat CT and Casey.
Right.
And I'm probably walking away with 0. So what I need to do is finish this challenge. So if anyone ever says, like, can you believe that they just took your money? Be like, they did. I thought about it too. But you know what else they did? I finished the challenge. You could never do it.
Right.
Random person on the street.
Yeah.
So they got that. I agreed with splitting it from jump, and there's a couple reasons. The only person that's kind of out there would have been Kyle. All right, Casey still, as much as I say she didn't have a relationship CT or whatever else, she's a good person overall, and she has relationships with people in general. Devin's been pretty decent with CT and everything else, and Casey never did the Big Brother sucks, and now he's good with Josh. That's fine. Emmy played her role when CT asked her to. She went to the Lair when he said you have to do this. She listened to how the game works. She didn't get out of line. And that's it. So they all.
I just can't stop smiling thinking about CT won 2 back-to-back.
He won 2 back-to-backs. Yeah,
it's so amazing.
And
he made a friend.
Yeah, and then so I think they all are deserving of it. And,
yes, that was the right move. That was absolutely the right move. And the only reason you would ever, I think, in this situation, take the money would be like, if you don't have any plans to come back ever again.
That's exactly it. I'm glad you mentioned it.
Because everybody that's there is going to be back.
Yeah.
So if you take money from them, you're so screwed. For like, how many seasons was Bananas? Like, it was like 5 or 6.
But it still gets brought up, though.
But it was like 5 or 6 that like they just voted him in after he took that money from Sarah. Just constantly. Like, he was like jinxed.
That is the exact point why you don't.
And
I know
Ashley,
it's like
too,
it's your money, but if anything, if CT was talking to Casey and she was like, hey, if you want to take the money, I'm okay with it. And I would hope that CT would be like, there's a good possibility I'm not coming back, but Casey, you are, and you don't want that on your back. Like,
exactly.
He
might have.
Let's come up with something here. And that's the leadership, the veteran that you have, because that's why I say it. I get keep it, but when it's one-on-one.
But realistically, okay, and especially with what they're doing, realistically, $100,000, yeah, fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never been in a situation where I'm like, oh, let's divide up this $1 million. Like, I
wouldn't
even
reason
know how
I
to
came
spend
up
it.
with that, I was trying to figure out a number outside of the 7, but it's just 100,000 more for second place. But then I was like, you know what? I liked it. No one, just because you got second doesn't make you any better than them.
And it was good.
Yeah, and so that was a good way of ending it. And I would have done the same thing only because if you're coming back, you don't want to have that target on your back when you open the door at all. So, So CT's back-to-back. He's only the second back-to-back, right?
Yep, him and Johnny's.
Johnny.
To my knowledge.
Johnny did his in Rivals with Tyler, and then Fresh Meat.
Did Darrell back-to-back?
He's won 4 times, and I think at 4 finals he was 4 for 4, and that was it. I don't think he won 4 in a row, though.
Okay.
Might have done it on teams, but I'd have to go back and look. I don't know if it was. I don't think it was 4 back-to-back. I think he's 4 for 4 in the finals.
All right. What would Bananas do?
Well,
if Bananas was CT,
he would have kept the money.
think?
I don't think he's got a relationship with Devin. I don't think he could care less. I don't think
True.
Tori, I don't think he's got one there. Emmy, depending on how much he worked, but he's used rookies as a stepping stone most of the time to get to his thing. Has been his MO. So it wouldn't have been. He would have kept the money, and it almost would have been. What would have Banana done? He would have doled it out probably because it was a swerve because everyone thinks he's going to keep it, and that way he can just be like, "Oh, I'm always guessing. I'm always keeping you guessing," type of thing.
Wouldn't it have been funny if he was like 5,000?
Oh yeah, that would be even better. Yeah, you get 5,000 a piece. That'd be awesome. Be like, yeah, you get this participation award. Yeah. But yeah,
Don't spend it all in one place.
yeah, that's what I think maybe he would have done something and then he would have been like, what? 5,000 is better than no dollars at all, you know. So, but originally you want to say that he would have kept it, but I do think he's always going to zig when you think he's going to zag.
True.
And he would have said, you guys can have this.
Well, we both know the reason why he took the money from Sarah.
And he's right every time.
You know, it took me a long time, and then I finally heard it on his podcast, and I was like, I get it.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate it so hard, but I get it.
That's not
Bananas,
the first time
I
he said
get
it. He
it.
said it on Bill
I
Simmons.
get
He's
why
like,
you
you
took
don't know
the
what it was
money.
like to run
I
that
get why
final
you
with her.
took the money.
She just kept saying over and over again, you're gonna split it, right? You're gonna split
Well,
it.
and he said that previous to that, like they'd like worked out together, like on that season where like her and Jordan paired up, and
yeah, and then she threw him in the
yeah. Like we're like real friends outside.
Yeah,
I get that. I get that. Tea. I got a little tea. It's cute tea this week.
Okay.
It's cute tea. So Leroy and Cam flew back to Las Vegas because Leroy had cut the hair of this boy named Jack Nico.
Okay.
That Leroy had cut his hair. 15 years old, graduating from University of Las Vegas.
Okay.
So for his graduation.
15?
15.
Graduating from UNLV?
Uh-huh. He's got a couple associate's degrees, too.
Jeez.
I know.
That's pretty cool, though.
Really freaking cool.
Yeah.
Really freaking cool. So, love you, Leroy, as always. And congratulations on graduation, Jack.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great story.
Right?
Who won the episode?
CT.
Okay. He does. Honorable mention to TJ.
TJ was great, too.
He gets an honorable mention.
TJ does get an honorable mention.
He steals. It
was beautiful.
I'm sorry.
It really was beautiful.
Listen, you can put all that pageantry and the soundtrack to Casey and Nani. TJ steals that. He 100% steals that.
I wasn't going to bring this
pseudo
up,
Lair.
but I did look at you when he was giving the speech to Nelly, and I don't know if there was something in your eyes.
Oh, get out of here!
You did look.
That did not look like that at all.
Just a little bit.
Not one
just a
bit.
little bit.
I
All right,
so
it must have just been something in your eyes.
Yeah, I think you're lying to the people right now. I was like, it's a good speech. I really appreciate it, and I understand where he's come from. And Nelly needed it I would say in the worst way at that time. But he's going to be. He says guarantees he's going to be a champion someday. And
that was beautiful.
Yeah, and I think you told me 2 episodes ago. This is number 37.
Season 37.
Bruh, there's been maybe 28 champions out of 37, and you're like guaranteeing it, and you better start working on swimming. Like, I mean, there's been multiple champions that you,
dude.
Yeah. So, and I know that in this, rarely do you do the team ones. That's where some people get them. It's probably higher than 28 out of 37, but we know that there's 2 5-timers now. So that puts you down to 27. Sorry, but some of them are team ones. So, you gotta. He's gonna have to do a little bit more. I mean, Nelly's really gonna have to do a little bit more, and Corey thinks it's his time too, and I hopefully so. So.
If it was Best Friends, wouldn't that be the best season ever? Best Friends.
Best friends, yeah. Who gets to be best friends though?
It's just you and your bestie, so it's like Nelly and Corey, like Kayla and Jenna.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
Wes and Bananas.
Probably. I think we're more likely to get a Rivals before we get to
I know. Okay. So
who lost the episode?
Nani.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
she gave it away. Again,
that's how much
I will
don't
always
think of her.
say that I like you, but you gave it away, girl.
Yeah. What's the most cringeworthy?
That.
Yeah.
Well, also the puzzle.
Sorry,
the stick puzzle.
That was pretty bad. That was true. I don't know. Nani's just really. If you watch that episode and you focus on Nani, and it's not like I was, it's just the nonverbal, the look on her face, everything. I really take a look at a nonverbal of a competitor before they compete.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I can break it down pretty fast. From that person's not ready to go.
Oh, for sure.
And that's the way I was looking at her. It just. She always she has that look on her face, and she's got, listen, when Nani's done up, she's got a beautiful smile, everything else, but when she's in the middle of competing, and we all would look like that doing that.
Oh, for sure.
She's got this look, and it's not a smile, but it cheeks are back. It's almost like she's holding in a fart or something. I don't know, or confused about why she's even there, but it's not like anything where it's like Eye of the Tiger type of thing, like she's ready to compete. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
And her elimination last season, where they played Danger Zone or something like that. When she got it, she had that eye, that very wanted it moment. Yeah, she didn't have that. She didn't have that sparkle.
And I get she's going against her girlfriend,
right?
And do it, but don't give me the story about what you're gonna do with the money if you can't turn it on and be like, look, we're so cool, right? But it was never gonna be that way.
Right.
Those two.
What if it was archery or something? If it wasn't physical, do you think she would have gone for it?
I don't know. I'm serious.
Do you know what I mean?
If she was really there to compete, or if she was there to fall in love.
There was a tweet I saw that was cute. That was so Nani and Casey have been doing really well on this season of Are You the One?
See, that's a really good tweet. Yeah, that's funny.
By the way, they're still together. They're so in love. They live together. I'm happy for them.
Yeah, that's good. So
should I go into All Stars?
Yeah. Anyway, real quick, CT wins the season. Does Casey
and
get it?
Our hearts?
Does Casey get it? Does Emmy get it? Because she wins Rookie of the Year, but does Emmy steal it for the girls for winning the season? Or does Casey get it for getting the? I mean, what is Tori?
You know what, Tori? Tori had a heck of a eliminate or a heck of a final.
If you go back and listen to what we said, even when she got into arguments with Devin or whatever else, she was true to the team. She was true to what she believed. She never compromised those things.
Yes.
And when she was trying to protect someone, be it Devin or whatever else, she always protected him. Tori might have won the season without winning the whole thing.
Wow. I haven't really.
As far as the
that.
eyes in pop culture, whatever else, and let's just say if going into it next year, are you going to have a fan favorite? Emmy's going to be up there, but I think Tori should have the argument for winning the season.
Okay,
if you're Big Brother America's Choice, there was a runner-up prize.
Going into the season, I remember what you said. You said that she hasn't done anything in a couple seasons. So now she's up there. She's a contender. She is someone to watch. She is someone to root for.
And if you kind of watch her one-on-one confessionals.
So there's the heel on WWE. What's the other one?
The face.
The face. So she about to be the face?
Yeah, it's called a face turn
face
or heel
turn.
Yeah. So, and you also, if you guys following along, there was a time where she said, I want to prove that I don't need someone in my life. And we're like, oh, you easily have Manny. You can't do that. But maybe that's part of what she's doing. she's socializing. She's maybe likes companionship or whatever else, but it really does show that her social game by herself
Yes.
is good. And
Yes.
it didn't have to be with Jordan or whatever else. I think she, and yeah, like you said, I've said that before. What has she done? And I think she really pulled off a good season. Not great. But
Didn't seem like she struggled too much with as much with puzzles as she has in the past either. So she's been working on that too.
Emmy wins Rookie of the Year, hands down.
We gonna go year, or are we gonna go season?
Season. Sorry, Rookie of the Season. Yeah, because
I agree. By the way, I loved so hard that she woke up and her braids were all a hot mess. And I looked right at you and I was like, that is exactly how I wake up. Like Nani wakes up and it's like, I mean, it's like Cinderella. Like the freaking birds are chirping and like helping her get ready. And Emmy's all like, meh, with her hair. That's me. Love you, girl.
Yeah, I feel you, girl. It was. I don't know if there's much more out of it. I mean, reunion's coming up. We'll get more out of that.
But
there's going to be people missing out of it. Do the.
Hey.
Yeah.
Can I interject really
Sure.
fast?
Yeah.
If you think back to the beginning of the season, who called it on episode 0?
Called what?
Who's gonna win this season?
Did we say it?
20 episodes in.
We have it in notebooks. I don't know.
I mean,
Something
I probably said CT. Let's be real.
I'm sure I probably said CT also, or I'm pulling for him. I can't imagine I would say anybody else. Johnny's not there if I can't say his name.
Uh,
I don't know. Did we bet?
Sorry, I didn't mean to send you on a tangent.
No, we'll get there though. We'll find it.
no, but I do have this page of hookups and kisses that I thought would happen. Fessy and Amanda happened.
Yeah.
Michelle and Emmanuel
Stop
happened.
telling me names now. Okay.
Amber and Jeremiah. I put possibly Jeremiah. That happened.
That happened.
Nellie and Ashley. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Nellie and Berna. I put and maybe Berna. Yep. Nani and Casey. Yep. Nailed
Yep.
it.
Trailer notes. Yep.
Sarah's notebook
That's
for the
almost
win.
filled.
Sarah's notebook wins the episode.
That's true too. Yeah, the podcast. Yeah, it wins everything. Yeah, for keeping up and keeping notes at the same time, being able to do that. So
Always wanted CT to win, though. I mean, you know.
take me to the All Stars.
Okay, so I didn't write any notes, so why am I getting out my notebook? What was even the challenge? Oh, so they have to hop on trampolines. There are like 4 different trampolines, and then there's like a number that they've got to hit. And then they've got to go put it into like a math equation. They got to do this, I think, 2 or 3 times. 2 or 3 numbers, or maybe it's just one number. I don't know. They all, like, not they all, but like it was bad. Like people falling at bad angles.
Yeah.
Like ambulances came.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Like Casey fell a couple times and quit. Melinda hit hard. Like really hard, like on the side.
Yeah.
And okay, I'm going to talk about it. So she had said that was the day, that was the due date of her child that had passed away. She was 20 weeks pregnant and the child passed. And she was saying the day before that she was happy it was a challenge day because
Keep your mind out.
right.
Yep.
But then it was just it didn't work out as far as the challenge. She fell really hard and had to, go by ambulance. Jasmine went up a couple of times and fell and was struggling, and then she was like, you know what? She was like, maybe this is something I just can't do. And then she's like, I thought of my kids, and then I went up and she got it. Tech struggled with the math once he got it. Steve, the hand model, like knocked it somewhere and he had to like swim out for it. Casey and Tina were up for elimination. Melinda was going to go in. Tech and Tyler were up for elimination. Steve was going to go in. Tech goes in. Tina goes in, and Tina's pissed because she's like,
yeah,
she's talking about like, I have this whole new life, and like I don't live in this anger zone anymore, blah blah blah. She's thinking it's going to be based on performance. Casey sucked. She didn't. Then she gets voted in. She's like, what the heck? So then she like loses it.
So it's not, it shouldn't have anger issues anymore until they need to come out. Okay.
Right. And she comes in front of the house and she like bangs pots and pans together.
Okay.
And she's like, I don't know, just says some stuff. But it was so funny because like when it first started, Brad's like, Tina, come on, like something like that. Found out on Banana's podcast that he's like, the reason I said that is because I had just been talking to her for like an entire hour about how to manage this.
Yeah.
And then she comes downstairs
Nope.
and she does this. And he's like,
great talk, but nope.
And Jody's like, she wants a reaction. I'm not going to give her a reaction, So it's Tech and Steven in this elimination. And they got to switch off lights, and it's like 3 and 3, like kind of in a star sort of. So you got to run across the others, turn their light off. They turn your light off. Whoever has the most, Apparently there was not supposed to be contact.
Uh-oh.
But Tech straight up just into Steve. So I was like, all right, let's go. And nobody stopped him either.
Yeah.
So then they pass a couple more times, and then Steve just lays Tech out. But then Steve makes a mistake of thinking he hit it, but he didn't. And then they run and race, and Tech gets it. That seems to be kind of what happens in All Stars. It's just a mistake.
One little mental flaw. Yeah.
Right. So then it goes to women's elimination between Melinda and Tina. Oh, and by the way, so it's Melinda, Tina, and Tyler up talking in a room, and Tina's like, I'm not like this in my life. I don't know how to react with this anger. This is not how I normally act. I don't know how to manage it. And Melinda's like, who are you upset with? And she's like, well, the people that voted me in. And she's like, very, very serious. She's like, would you like me to make you some green tea?
Wow.
No, she meant it serious.
Yeah.
And Tina just busts into hysterical laughter. And then Tyler's like, some banana bread.
Yeah,
and Melinda's a casserole. It was cute. But anyway, so it gets to the women's elimination between Tina and Melinda. TJ blows the horn. Tina just stands in the middle. And so Melinda's just running back and forth, hitting things. And then halfway through, she's like, why aren't you going? So Melinda wins. And Tina just says, TJ's like, what the heck? And she's like, I didn't like that I saw this version of myself again. This is...
So I'm not coming back ever to...
No, she's coming back next season.
What?
Yeah, she's
Why
back
did they
next
let her
season.
seem like the version of her?
I don't know.
Ugh. Okay.
Happy for Melinda.
Yeah.
Happy for Tech. Love Tech. Love Melinda.
All right. Do you want to keep it Challenge All-Stars topic, or do you want to go back to the season? We have 2 topics real quick.
Let's go back to the season.
Over under, how many original people from the season can we name? Out of the 36, right?
Mm-hmm. Do you want to pick a gender and you do one, I do the other? You want to go back and forth? Until we can't go anymore?
I'm not going to make it very far.
All right. Think of which gender, or you know what? Just think of a person.
Yeah, just
think
go
of
in
a person.
Okay. All right. Okay. CT.
Devin.
Fine. Kyle.
Casey.
Nani.
Tori.
Nelson.
Corey.
Emmy.
Michelle.
Amber.
Coriel.
Amanda.
Logan.
Bessie.
Renan.
Josh.
Michaela.
Gabo.
Oh, you jerk. I hate you. Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no. Ashley.
Ed.
Oh, my God, I'm going to lose this. Give me a second. I'm almost there. Michaela.
Okay.
I got one.
Priscilla.
Huey.
Big T.
Tasha.
Good one. Esther.
Dang it. That's one I was going to go for. Kels.
Ooh, good job. Logan.
I already said Logan.
Emmanuel.
That might be all of them.
No. Wait, did you already do the hyena?
I'll go Berna, so you can go.
Bettina. Why would I know Berna? Yeah, Bettina. Is there anyone else?
That might be it.
That's pretty impressive.
It felt like we went back and forth for a long time.
That's pretty impressive if we did that. I don't know if we both did it 18 times, but that's a lot more than I thought we were going to get to. Mm-hmm. I mean, we had to at least get to 28, 30.
Trying to think if there's anybody we forgot.
No, we can come back to lists in a second. That thing you sent me today.
Oh, my gosh.
The tournament.
So there's this bracket that Challenge MTV posted. Mm-hmm. And it's, basically talking about big moments from the challenge, and then you have to decide. Mm-hmm. It's like March Madness, but with the challenge.
Sure.
Okay. So should we?
No. Honestly, there's way too many. I would give that would be considered the 1 seat up there. Mm-hmm. And your 4, you let me know. I think probably that one. 4 would be at the top there. That would be your 2.
Well, here,
3.
you do it. If
All
you
right.
know this better than me.
I think the number 1 seed in this, and then what would be considered the northwest side, the number 1 seed would be G.I. Jane, which is considered DM removes her wig. And
Huge
that would have
moment.
been
Huge
in
moment.
The duel.
Huge moment.
And then the 4 seed would be, and that would be Banana's backpack. And that's on Cutthroat. That's where CT puts Banana on there.
Right.
Now, the 2 seed in that would be Mark Long's birthday party in the Gauntlet 2. I'm sorry, the 3 would be there. And the 2 would be Jemmy betrays Jenna. 4 stronger in there. I'm not going to lie to everybody. There's a lot of things out here. If you can go to this, and this is, it's just the challenge.
DM removes
challenge
her wig.
MTV, yeah. DM removes her wig is going
you can go over to the other side, too.
It's going to go all the way into the finals. So,
you can go over to the other side, too.
All right, hold on a second. I'm sorry about what I would have been the 3 seed. The 3 seed would have been Darrell wins 4 straight challenge. So, that was in fresh meat. That one actually should. Oh, Banana's backpack is good.
Go over to the other side because it's weird. Like some of the things they have against each other just like aren't the same.
Okay. The 1 seed would have been that in the other side because I was off on that Mark Long's birthday party. The 4 would have been Bananas versus West fight. Mm-hmm. The 2 is Jemmy betrays Jenna, and then the 3 is Jordan calls out Bananas. Not bad. The 1 in the northeast side, the Gauntlet 3 finale, which I'm assuming is really good.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I don't remember.
Either one of these 2, I don't know where they're placing this at a 4. Banana takes some money and runs, or
the one that I don't like is they have the birth of Tony time. The birth of Tony time is opposite Siobhan's implant. Like that's not even the same thing. Like why are those opposite each other?
No, they had to throw it in because they just thought Evelyn betrays Paula or Fight Night in Battle of the Seasons 2012 was just going to automatically make it into the next side. They have CT versus West and CT versus TO fight back to back. I get that. DMs I can. Sorry takes that out. I can speech. Everybody was just blown away by that.
Yes.
It's so funny because all the things where I'm like, I forget a season as soon as it's done. But looking at some of these,
you're like, yes.
Yeah. Bananas takes some money and run. I'm sorry. Takes over any Gauntlet final. That puts him in the final 4 in that one. DM's removes her wig is a finalist over there in the final 4. And again, go to the challenge on Instagram.
Ashley wins $1 million. That's gonna be.
But that they put her up as a 4 seed or 5 to. I mean, no, 7 or 8.
Oh yeah, because that's not gonna be. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, you look at the bracket where they'd have to run into that.
Garbage. It's people that don't know anything about brackets made this bracket.
Derek versus Josh is crazy 8 elimination.
Probably.
Or Jemmy betrays Jenna. I don't care where that one comes out. DM goes in the finals. I said Banana takes some money, makes it out of that one. And then Evie betrays Paula is an interesting one.
You're kind of a beautiful mind with brackets. It's incredible.
I love brackets.
Like
I could look at brackets all day long and draw.
I would need to really think about this, and you're like that one.
Yeah, it might be. Listen, Evie betraying Paula was such a big deal on the island because it was out there so much, and Paula Walnuts was just like, no, guys, you're not going to... It was the second time she got betrayed on this thing because Johnny and Evan and the other guys had done it, and she was like, you're not going to do it again, and they're like, no. But Evelyn will. that was...
I'd like to see Evelyn on All Stars.
And that was like a thing, and they ended up winning as a team on Rivals.
Yeah.
So,
yes, they did. They were so great.
So that one, but DM, do you remember that DM elimination that in the duel where she just kept telling herself, I can, and then everyone else started chanting it too?
Well, it was different things that you can do. Like it was like,
yeah,
I can do this. Yep. And then once you did it, then your opponent had to do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was incredible. She was incredible.
There's another one there. Cara Marie pushes through with the broken hand was a very, very good one. But unfortunately put her up there. I just Banana Takes Some Money is one.
Always.
That's so if you have good versus evil, in my eyes, you have good versus evil, a 1 versus 2 in the final, and you've got DM removes her wig versus good versus evil, Bananas takes some money and run, and DM wins every time.
Yeah.
It was just it was like you don't forget that.
Stupid.
You just don't forget that.
No, that was
CT,
such
that's when listen, you
moment.
hate CT, you do, or you respect him or whatever. I always like CT. I like him when he was on Real World, but when he's like convincing her to just take it off, and she finally does.
And Derek too.
And Derek too, but and you're just like, oh, this guy isn't such a bad guy.
Oh my God, yes. It's always,
yeah.
always and forever. If it's DM, always and forever.
Well, yeah, it's a nice bracket that they put together, and
you could do better.
I don't think I could do better. I mean, I could look at all of them. I'd have to go through a lot of Wikipedia and do that. But moments, I don't know. I could probably put together a bracket of, best competitors and everything else and do your 1, your 2s and make it all the way out there to at least, I can make that size for females and males. Yeah. Feel confident in it. And then you just argue your way from there.
Right on.
Yeah.
What else you got for me?
Well, that's it. Excited for the reunion. It's just one of those things where it doesn't keep you guessing. I care more about the moderator in the reunion. I think it's important.
Yeah, I don't know who it is.
I have no idea why Bananas is not hosting this at all. I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't mean to make this every time about Bananas, but he should always be, if he's not in the season, he should be the one that's moderator.
Amanda is on Bananas podcast. Like, it's about to drop, like, now.
Okay. Well, that'll give me something.
That's going to be a good one.
Morning,
but isn't that interesting? Like, you could have picked, like, the winner, but instead you pick Amanda.
Yeah, but he's got to draw this out a little bit more.
Right,
and
right.
They're going to, and he's, again.
For the last 2 weeks, he did All-Stars. Like, he didn't talk about the actual challenge.
It's not easy to do if you basically are forced to watch a show that you do not want to watch.
True.
And he'd rather watch his friends
I'm excited.
Challenge.
End of the day, I'm excited to hear Amanda on Bananas podcast.
Of course.
I'm so freaking excited. It's going to be so good.
As much as what she does is how she delivers, and then he doesn't hold vendettas, even if he didn't like Amanda or whatever else, and even if they get along or whatever, he's going to let her be her. Mm-hmm. He's going to continue to be him. He's got a good way of holding a conversation. He's not the best interviewer ever. He's not. He's not the best podcast host ever. But he's got a good way of holding a conversation that you're like, all right, I like listening to these two people talk.
Well, and he lets the person talk, too, which I like.
Yeah, it's so I'm interested to listen to that. It'll be good.
It'll be good.
But yeah, we got the reunion, we got the holidays coming up, but yeah, it's been a nice, fun ride.
It's been so great. And thanks everybody for watching. This has been like a dream of mine.
Yeah.
I
we'll
really
reunite
this.
right after the reunion, the second part one. So we'll take a quick break, holidays, a quick one for Christmas, but we'll watch both parts of it, and then we'll come back because it's our opinion that one's just kind of like, but if we can get the best line, who won the episode, who had the best line, cringeworthy, and if we come up with our own superlatives for just the reunion, it makes it more fun.
Oh my God, best dressed. Oh my God, we can totally do that. Yes.
Now it looks like a manual because it looks like he's dressed as Prince.
Okay.
That's what I think. Yeah,
I ain't mad at
that. So we got to do superlatives. So that'll give us things to do for the week. Yeah.
So thanks everybody for watching. Follow us on Twitter, Final Alliance 1. On Instagram, we are Final Alliance. On YouTube, we are Final Alliance Podcast. On Spotify, wherever you find your podcasts, we are Final Alliance Podcast.
We're not done.
Oh, we got more?
No, I'm saying we're not done because the season's done.
Oh, no.
Oh, no,
there's more.
Oh, yeah. We got a lot more going on. So
we got stuff coming up.
Just because we take one off for the holidays doesn't mean we're not coming back stronger than ever. And I can't wait for the superlatives. That'll be fun. All right. Love it.
As always, Sarah hanging out with my friend Jay. Thanks for watching.